let's kick things off with a story. It's January 1st, 2026, and I want you to meet our hero, a simple stick man we'll call Zero. He's starting with, well, zero. No assets, maybe even a little bit of debt, and a job that basically just covers the bills. What we're going to do here is follow his exact playbook to build real wealth from absolute scratch.
So picture this. There's Zero, scrolling on his phone. All he sees are these crazy headlines screaming about interest rates, AI stealing jobs, and houses that cost more than a lottery jackpot. It's a lot, right? You can feel it. He feels like he's at the starting line of a marathon that he didn't even know he was supposed to be training for.
And this is the exact spot where most people just get stuck. They look at personal finance like it's this super hard video game, and they figure it's probably rigged against them anyway. So they just put the controller down. They don't even start. But what Zero's about to figure out is that you don't need to be a pro gamer to win. You just have to learn the first few moves.
So, level 1, it's not what you think. It's not about picking the hot new stock or finding the next Bitcoin. Nope. The first level is all about facing the monster that is already in the room with you: high-interest debt. Before you can even think about building, you have got to stop the bleeding.
They call this the negative compounding trap. And trust me, it is absolutely brutal. The best way to think about it is like trying to fill a bucket that has a massive hole in the bottom. That hole, that's your 24% credit card debt. And it's draining your future wealth way faster than you can ever hope to pour it in.
Okay, let's just push all the emotions aside for a minute and look at the cold, hard math. Because the numbers, they don't lie. Paying off a debt with a 24% interest rate is mathematically the exact same thing as earning a guaranteed 24% return on your money. I mean, think about that. You will literally never find that kind of guaranteed return in the stock market, not without taking on some absolutely insane risk.
But look, this goes way deeper than just the numbers on a spreadsheet. Carrying that debt around creates this scarcity mindset. It's like a chain. It keeps you stuck in a job you can't stand because you're scared. You're afraid to take a risk, ask for that big raise, or move for a better opportunity. So the real cost isn't the interest. It's the life you're too afraid to even try to live. So how does Zero fight back? He's got a weapon. It's called the avalanche method. And it's simple, but man, is it powerful. First, you just list out all your debts, but you order them by interest rate, highest to lowest. Ignore the total amount for now. Then, you take every single spare dollar you have and you throw it at that top of the list highest rate debt. Treat it like a fire you have to put out. Once it's gone, you take that entire payment and you roll it on to the next debt on the list. It's focused, it's aggressive, and it absolutely works.
All right, the debt monster is gone. Zero has leveled up. But before he starts building this awesome wealth castle, he's got to dig a moat and pour a really solid foundation. And honestly, this is the step everyone is tempted to skip, but you just can't.
I know what you're thinking. Awesome, I'm debt-free. Time to jump on an app and buy some index funds, right? Well, not so fast. If you do that right away, you're actually setting yourself up for failure because life is always going to happen.
Before a single dollar goes into the market, Zero builds what we're going to call his cash fortress. This is simply 3 to 6 months of your absolute bare-bones living expenses. We're talking rent, food, utilities. And let's be super clear, the point of this money isn't to grow. It's not an investment. It's insurance against chaos. It's your sleep well at night fund. Just think for a second about what this actually does for you. The car breaks down? Bam, you use the cash. You don't have to sell your investments when they're down just to cover the bill. It creates this amazing psychological buffer. It allows you to see a big market crash as a sale, a buying opportunity, instead of a total catastrophe. And it gives you the confidence to walk into your boss's office and negotiate because you're not desperate. It's financial armor.
Okay, the foundation is poured. The fortress walls are up. Now and only now, is it finally time for Zero to start the real wealth-building engine. It's time to invest.
But here's the thing about us humans. We get bored. We want action. We want excitement. We want to find the next big thing. Well, the hard truth is, good, effective investing should feel about as exciting as watching paint dry. Seriously, if your heart is pumping and you're getting a rush of adrenaline, you've probably crossed the line from investing into gambling.
So, Zero's smart. He knows this about himself. So he pulls a little trick on his own brain. It's called the core satellite approach. 90%, the vast majority of his money, goes into the boring but smart core. Think low-cost, broad market index funds. That's the real engine. But the other 10%, that's his satellite. That's his fun money. He wants to buy a tech stock or dabble in crypto? Fine, he uses this bucket. It scratches that itch for action without blowing up the whole plan.
All right, so Zero's got his strategy. He's ready to go, but there's this silent partner in everything we do financially, one that can sneakily drain away a huge chunk of your gains over time if you're not paying attention. Yep, I'm talking about the unseen leak in the pipe, taxes.
See, this is so important. It's not just what you buy, it's where you hold it that can make all the difference. Think of it like a waterfall. You fill these accounts in a very specific order. First things first, you contribute to your 401k just enough to get that full employer match. It's free money. Then you max out a Roth IRA for that beautiful tax-free growth. After that, if you have one, you max out your HSA. Only after all those tax-advantaged buckets are full do you even think about putting money into a regular, taxable brokerage account.
You might think this is small potatoes, but over a lifetime, the difference is it's absolutely staggering. Imagine you invest $10,000 and it grows to $100,000. In a normal taxable account, when you go to sell, you could easily lose $15,000, even $18,000 of that gain to taxes. But in a Roth IRA, you get to keep the entire $100,000, every penny. That's a massive bonus you get just for picking the right type of account.
So we've talked a lot about playing defense, saving, investing smart, avoiding taxes. That's all crucial. But let's be real. There's a limit to how many lattes you can stop buying, right? There is a hard floor on how much you can save. But guess what? There is no ceiling on how much you can earn. This is the final level up for Zero. It's time to play offense.
Let me put it this way. Saving money, clipping coupons, budgeting, that's your defense. And it's important. It stops you from losing the game. But building new skills, getting promotions, increasing your earning power, that's your offense. And offense, that's how you actually win.
Look, your biggest financial asset, it's never going to be a stock or a fund. It's you. It's your primary income engine, your career. Investing in a new skill that gets you a $20,000 raise gives you a return that pays you back year after year after year. That raise isn't a one-time win. It's a win that compounds for the rest of your working life. It's the most powerful investment you can make.
Okay, let's wrap this all up and bring it home. Zero's whole journey, from starting with debt and feeling that despair to having a clear path forward, it gives us the complete step-by-step playbook that anyone can follow. So this is it. This is the whole game plan, laid out nice and simple. You start on defense. Slay that high-interest debt that's holding you down and build your cash fortress to protect you from surprises. Then, you flip the switch to offense. You fill up those tax-advantaged accounts, you invest in boring, reliable index funds, and then, for the final boss move, you supercharge the entire system by upgrading your own income skills. At the end of the day, what this whole story really shows us is that the secret to building wealth isn't some complex formula hidden in a spreadsheet. It's about your behavior, your discipline, and most importantly, about investing in yourself. So the question to leave with isn't what stock should I pick? The real question is the one you have to ask the person in the mirror. What skill will you master next?